We are Mia and Massi. We live on this beautiful island called Sicily. Join us on our adventures around the island and making and eating local cuisine, on our villa D.I.Ys and on our simple, slow living. This is our Sicilian Dolce vita. Venite con noi. So the weekend started off with us going for lunch to an expat's friend's house, smack bang in the middle of Syracuse, with loads of people who are also expats. And the view that she had was stunning. You could see the Greek theatre and the huge santuario. The lunch was so much and everything was just fantastic. Every little detail was just done perfectly and we enjoyed it so much. The guys then started to play this beanbag game. You had to throw the beanbag into a hole and they were on teams and they had a lot of fun. Then we had the dessert. She made an amazing cheesecake. Buongiorno, buona domenica.
Buongiorno.
We are really
I'm struggling, and so is she.
We are struggling with a lot of hay fever at the moment, and unfortunately it's right where we live. Every time we come back home, we are really bad. But anyway.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to go past the pharmacy to get some nasal spray because we're basically walking around with tissues.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going down to the vintage market. We're going to go have a little look around because we haven't seen it for a while. So we've got a little bit of, we're missing it. And then as Massi says, we're going to go grab ourselves some sort of a spray, nasal spray, because it's, we're struggling a bit.
Yeah,
anyway,
having a bit of trouble.
Then later on, what are we doing later on, Massi?
A bit of homework.
Yeah, a bit of garden work, I think. We have to collect some wood. Our neighbour contacted us and told us that we've got some wood to collect.
Nice collaborating with your neighbours.
Lovely, especially when they cut the wood for us. Yeah. Anyway, and then at about 6 o'clock we're meeting a subscriber who's reached out to us. A Hawaiian subscriber. Valeriano.
Yeah,
Valeriano, so we're eager to meet him and have a nice aperitivo. Okay?
Absolutely.
So Massi's bought himself a lovely hat. We found a nice lampshade and a base, but yeah, they mix match. Bisogna pubblicarla.
E stiamo per fare questo il minimo.
Certo.
Che dice, no?
The guy was telling us that we need to definitely film and show everyone the second-hand stuff that we bought. So this is a beautiful lampshade. Show the base. But they are two separate things. So the lampshade's a little bit bigger. Massi's going to try and...
So this cost 15 and then 10. No, first it cost 10 and then 15 and then back to 10.
But anyway, we got everything 15 euros, which was a bargain because it's really beautiful and old. And we just need to fix it. Now we're looking for a bar to get a good cappuccino.
That's how we'll fix it.
Yeah, by getting a good cappuccino, hey Mas?
Yeah.
Oh, and we forgot. Massi bought himself a toy because he's still little.
Later a FIFA game.
He likes to play on the PlayStation every now and then.
Football, yeah.
So when he finds a game that he likes, he'll get it.
Football, you can't say no to football.
Boys and their toys, eh?
Yeah. Game of footy.
Finally, our cappuccino. Nice.
Can I get some water?
Yeah. Nice. I love the sugar bags. Okay, so we are back home and I just want to show off my lavender. I just can't get over how beautiful this lavender has become. I am so proud of ourselves, honestly. And look at the beautiful climbing roses. This is the first one that's opened up. And we've got quite a few coming along here. And there's one right at the top over there. Look at that. I don't know. I just enjoy the simple things in life. Especially my garden. Anyway, we're back home. We are in Massi's messy shed. He's trying to fix the top of this lampshade. Oh my goodness. How the hell do you manage to find anything in this place?
I know what's going on.
Sorry?
I know what's going on.
I'm glad you do.
I'm the only one that needs to know what's going on.
Well, if I need to get a hammer or something, I can... I ask, yeah?
As if I'd go into your sewing kit or your kitchen.
It's not this messy.
Well, it's not the same thing, is it?
Anyway, let's see how it goes. All right. Okay, so Massimo's actually put it all together beautifully. Look at that. Oh, I really love this. Moment of truth. Let's see if the light bulb works.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a weird plug. It's an old-fashioned plug.
It's an old-fashioned plug, but it's beautiful. Wow, I love it. Thank you, Mas.
You're welcome.
So in the late afternoon, we went into Ortigia because we wanted to meet our friend Valeriano for a nice aperitivo, and it was such a beautiful evening. Yeah, I like the saying, cui ave picca s'accontenta, cui ave assai si lamenta. Who has little is happy or is content, and who has a lot moans.
Always moaning.
Is always moaning, yeah.
And I went to acting school.
Right, so I'll introduce Valeriano. He's one of our subscribers.
That's right.
We have come to the island of Sicily to meet him. He's staying in Ortigia, right? Correct. You reached out to us a week ago.
Yeah.
You said you were coming to Sicily.
And
Just
so
went
what?
for a nice little aperitivo, which is wonderful. Cheers.
To do.
Thank you for meeting us.
Cheers to you. Cheers to
I think you guys.
Excuse me, we're in the middle of Ortigia.
I'm listening to the game.
And he's watching his Roma game. Can you believe it?
Right, everyone, we're going to do a quick recipe today. The recipe is called fettuccine alfredo, which is the sauce that is quick. The pasta is not quick. The pasta takes a little bit longer. So the sauce is fettuccine alfredo. A quick history lesson on the pasta sauce. There was a restaurant called Dalillo, and Alfredo was the guy's name, and he made this pasta sauce, which is a very simple sauce. It's just with butter and grated Parmesan cheese, which has been infused, and you just toss that into the pasta in the pan. There's many variations over the years that have come by. It got taken on by Italo-Americano, so Italian Americans, and they've variated with the sauce. They've added broccoli, they've added cream, they've added chicken to it. It's called pasta alfredo. Very simple, the way we do it in Italy. It's called pasta al burro. Okay, that is the original pasta alfredo. Right, I've got 350 grams of flour. I've mixed 00 grano tenero, which is a tender grain flour, and I've used semolina rimascinata, which is semolina which is remilled, yeah, milled twice. I'm taking 4 eggs, crack them open into a bowl, putting that into the middle of the volcanic shape I've made from the flour, and I'm slowly going to mix that in. So taking it in like you would make, whoever's a builder will understand what I'm saying. You start mixing it in slowly, slowly like that. And as you go, it's going to obviously start coming out. You need to try and catch it and just get the flour into that. Normally, what you would do is mix the eggs, but you don't have to. Okay, so as you can see, I'm getting that flour nice and mixed in there. I'm going to now get that all together. I'm going to knead it for 10 minutes once it starts making a good dough. I've added a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, so it brings it all together nicely like that. And I've added, let's say, a couple of teaspoons of salt. As you can see, it's all come together very nicely. And once I've got it into a good stuck together dough, I'm going to knead it for 10 minutes exactly. This is why grannies are really appreciated, because this is not work for somebody that doesn't want to work hard. It takes hard work to make pasta. Kneading has to be right. You have to have the right consistency. The more you knead it, the better your consistency comes. As you can see, it's starting to get very nice and smooth. So that's what you want. But as I do that, I'm pulling it apart, but the consistency gets better. That's what the kneading does to it. Right, as you can see, it's nice and smooth. That's what I want. The finishes that I want is that. The consistency is perfect because it is a little bit harder, but obviously to get it to be perfect, you need to let that settle for an hour. So you take some cling film, keep it as airtight as possible, close that up, make sure that no air gets into it, and you leave it in a cool place for at least an hour. I'll get back to that after. We've let the dough rest for a little bit more than an hour. As you can see, I'm very lightly squeezing it. It's got very good, it doesn't return, so it's not very elastic. That's what you want. I've cut it in half to show you the inside, but I'm now going to cut it off in little pieces, and I'm going to roll out some long sheets in order to cut the pasta out. So I'm going to make like a flattish shape with my fingers to start it off. I very lightly floured the board where I'm going to roll it out on. Take a little piece at a time. You don't have to exaggerate with the amount of pasta because you need to make it quite flat. So you would normally use a pasta machine. I'm gonna do it by hand. I don't have to make a big amount of it, so by hand is going to be sufficient enough. I don't want it too thin. I'm not making ravioli. You use the same pasta to make ravioli, tortellini, but you'd really get it rather thin. So I'm not going to make it quite thin. I'm going to make it quite thick actually. And as I go along, I'll keep making it as long as possible. Okay, people obviously do wonder, how long do you actually make the dough before you cut it? Easy to measure. You take a piece of pasta, board pasta that is. That's it. You got your measurement. There's no making mistakes. So what you do now, you take your dough from one end, very lightly flour it. Okay, both sides. Because what you're going to do now, if you don't do this, it's probably going to stick together. You don't want that. So you take it and you roll it. Make a nice roll of it. People say, how thick does it have to be? 7 millimeters, not very thin either. So cut the ends off. And you want to do, that's about 7 millimeters. I don't know what it would be, maybe a 1/4 inch. That is the proper size of a fettuccine. And you make your little cuts like that, like I am doing now. Right, once you've done that, you take your pasta and you unravel it. Obviously, your ends are going to be shorter, and your middle is where it's going to be the correct size. As you can see, I'm getting to the right size now. Take one that I cut from the middle. There you go. That's your homemade fettuccine. Quite easy. And what you do, you just unravel them all, lightly flour them, and put them on a tray to dry out for a bit. Okay, so as you can see, the pasta is in there. We floured it up. Put loads of flour in there so it doesn't stick together. We're going to let that dry off for a few minutes before we cook it. Tends to make it lighter. And we put that in the pot and cook it for, should be about 3 minutes. That should be enough. Meantime, we're going to start the sauce. While the water is on the boil, it's actually started boiling already, I'm melting the butter off. I've cut 200 to 250 grams of butter for 2 of us, so should be more than enough, but we like it saucy. I'm melting that butter down, which takes really quickly. Actually, going to turn the flame off straight away. Once that is melted down, you can start cooking your pasta. The amount of sage that we've got is actually incredible. So we're going to do sage today. The normal Roman recipe is with parsley.
You've also got a lot of parsley, but
More sage than parsley. So we'll have to go with what the missus prefers, yeah? Just obviously to keep the peace at home. Happy wife, happy life. Right, the water should be boiling. Let's have a look. Yep, boiling. Put that down over there. Grab your pasta. Pop that in the water. 2.5 to 3 minutes, that should be ready. Meantime, I'm going to turn the other pan on where the butter is. So while the butter is warming up, I'm going to actually drop the sage in there so it infuses with the butter. Okay, I'm almost ready, almost there. The pasta is almost ready, so let's get it on. I'm just going to mention something while I'm waiting. The option, when I said before in the States, the Americans have changed it, the Italo-Americans, they have changed it. They put broccoli and chicken. So what they'd normally do to get that inside the sauce, they'd cook the chicken or the broccoli beforehand, and you would amalgamate it all in. And in the end of everything, you'd put your double cream in there, cooking cream, and that's what your American version of fettuccine alfredo is. Okay, why I say this is the Italian way. Italians cook very Mediterranean. Mediterranean cooking is a lot simpler. Italians like to eat a lot simpler with quick ingredients, and there's no need to exaggerate, I would say, as the Italian would think. Right, so I've got everything heated up. The pasta is ready. I've taken it a piece. I've chopped it off. I've looked at it, and as you break it, on the inside, it should be a little bit white. I don't know if you can see that. And it is al dente. Perfect. So with the water and everything, straight into the pan. Oops. And you want to use some of that pasta water because you want to keep it all moist in there. Look at that. Beautiful. And that just makes it creamier. The starch in the pasta water is what makes it creamier. Right, so I'm going to mix that all about. Get those flavors coming. I'm actually going to put a spoon of this pasta water in to get it even more creamier. I like it creamy. Once you put the parmesan in, it tends to dry up. So I'm going to put 3 abundant spoons of water at the end, I'm going to add some black pepper cracked onto that. So right now, like that, let's get some parmesan in there. Excuse me, Maria, sorry. You sprinkle your parmesan on. It should be okay to turn the flame off as well because it's really hot in there. Parmesan in there. I've put now, for the two of us, 5 large tablespoons, and you get that all mixed out about in there. Look how creamy that is. Beautiful.
That's lovely.
And finishing touches, as I said before.
Simple.
Yeah. And the finishing touches you need to put in there, some black pepper, freshly ground. There you go, ready to dish up.
Oh, that smells divine. I just love the smell of butter and sage. I know you wanted to make it with parsley, but I really think that butter and sage goes beautifully together. Yum.
So now the main part of the dish is trying it out.
I almost feel like it's probably cacio e pepe was probably it started
The
like
cheese
this.
is different, but yeah, you
Yeah.
got the same.
And I really
sauce.
didn't know that pasta alfredo was just butter and cheese. I honestly thought because
Oh my
growing up, is it nice? Growing up in South
Buono. Molto buono.
no words, just
Very nice. Let's go and eat.
So this week we have a second video coming out on Sunday evening. It is a completely different video to what we usually do. We are busy editing it now, so keep your eye out. It's really fun and a whole lot of people will be on it. Ciao,
Love you. Ciao, ciao.
alla prossima.
Ciao.